We are in Madrid for the final of our European playoffs.
You have got the two fan favorites doing battle for the Spring Split title.
Rookies versus rookies, well, rookies and Yellow Star.
They've got such a massive, massive outpouring of support behind them. A completely rebuilt Fnatic team.
The team that somehow always managed to make the finals, doesn't even matter if they change the roster or not.
Fnatic, it took them 5 games to do it, but they are going to the finals.
And on the other side, the Unicorns of Love, they gave us the craziest games we've seen this season.
They faced SK Gaming! The Unicorns of Love are going to Madrid!
It's right there in the name. I mean, you know, when you've got the power of love on your side and power of evil, you combine the two of them and you can pretty much do anything.
These two teams in Madrid was going to be a crazy crowd.
I expect the Spanish crowd to go completely insane.
To the 2015 European LCS Spring Finals. It's been a long journey since the start of the split, and there's still a ways to go on the road towards the Summoners Cup. But at the end of the day, here at the Palacio Vista Alegre in Madrid, one team will walk away as the Spring Split champions. You can hear the chants. Palacio Vista Alegre is all fired up. Still people outside, they got their signs. The Unicorns of Love fans are aplenty. Fnatic is getting ready on stage, being absolutely concentrated just a couple of minutes ago in there. Kikis with his crazy picks. What will he pull out today? They're very concentrated, Unicorns of Love. Eyes on the prize. Quick shot with the Spanish crew. He's going to bring all the action for the local crowd. And I'm Eve Schok supporter behind my trusty analyst desk, where I'm joined by coach for the Copenhagen Wolves, Dentist, and the mind behind Gambit Gaming, Leviathan.
It's a pleasure.
Well, you didn't even hear my question because it is so loud in here, but it is amazing. The atmosphere is booming and nothing has happened yet. Now, before we focus in on today's final, let's get a catch up on what's been happening here in Madrid. Yesterday, SK Gaming and H2K, they went the full 5 games, and to me, H2K, who couldn't adapt or couldn't keep it going for 5 games in their semifinal, SK dropped the ball. They just couldn't keep going.
For me, it was more H2K losing, SK losing it than H2K winning it. SK looked so dominant in their first performance. The first game was a perfect display of what SK has to do to win against almost every team in the LCS. And afterwards, they didn't adapt to what H2K put against them, and they suddenly changed their style. It was like they wanted to lose.
And yesterday we were talking about mental fortitude on the side of H2K after their semifinals performance. In this third place match, they really showed that being down 0-2, they were able to dig deep, come back, and get those 3 wins for the reverse sweep.
Yeah, definitely. And for a team that's only their first LCS split, making third, no shame in that. But SK, it's actually been their worst result in 3 splits, so they're going to have to maybe reevaluate going into the next split. Now let's bring up the bracket and see where H2K win leaves us today. There's one best-of-5 match left to play to decide the Spring Split champion, and the winner will represent Europe in the mid-season invitational. This is, of course, Fnatic versus Unicorns of Love. Fnatic, who secured their spot by beating H2K in the semifinal, and the Unicorns of Love, who qualified by beating out the first seed SK Gaming. And I think when we take a look at this bracket, not a lot of people had expected it to go this way, Dentist.
Not at all. Like, I didn't expect it. Unicorns of Love is a team coming from Challenger Series. They're all rookies. I mean, they're super young, they're super inexperienced, and now they're standing on the grand stage. It's the title that is on the line. They're in the finals of this year's LCS Spring Split. That is just amazing for those guys.
Yeah, and Fnatic always finds a way to make it to the finals. Yellow Star carrying his team of rookies all the way here, and this is going to be an exciting match.
Absolutely, and that brings us to today's Spring Finals, a best-of-5 match between Fnatic and the Unicorns of Love. And that is not all. Immediately following our coverage of the European LCS, we'll hand it over to our friends in North America, where Team Solo Mid and Cloud9 will square off in a 4th consecutive LCS final. Everything the same, another great final there in North America, and here it's all dang singled up. Fnatic versus the Unicorns of Love. And with a seat at the mid-season invitational on the line today, we want to know what you think. Which EU LCS team do you think would best represent the region on the world stage and why?
Well, the thing is, if you listen to that crowd, it doesn't really matter who we send. Both are going to be cheered at like crazy. For me, it's hard to judge. Fnatic is the team that looks on paper more stable and should be able to deliver a show against international teams. But Unicorns, they're crazy. They have picks, they have cheese, they have Gouda, they have everything up for them, and they might be able to surprise some international high competition.
You know a thing or two about that, Gouda.
Oh yeah, I sure do. I have to give my vote to Unicorns. One, because I'm Gambit. We lost to Unicorns in the quarterfinals, so we lose to the eventual champions. I'd like to see what they can do at MSI. But also just their crazy picks, and they're so entertaining to watch. Who wouldn't want Unicorns at MSI?
Yeah, and lucky us, we get to watch maybe 5 games of these teams versus each other, but be sure to tweet your answers, who you think would do good on the international stage at LOL Esports, and include the hashtag LCS, and we'll check out some of your responses later today. Now, the teams are about ready to take the stage in front of this amazing crowd, so let's meet our finalists.
Fnatic has been in every LCS finals. I hope that we are going to take our 4th title.
I think ever since we started playing, we've always been kind of the underdog. Coming from being like a challenger team and now being in the LCS and going to the finals, it's incredible.
Fnatic are taking down the Unicorns of Love. No! A few more hits. What?
Unicorn of Love is the only team that we've lost 2 games during the regular split.
I am expecting a close series against MS1 final.
Steelback has just gotten massive.
Yeah, you're pretty fed here.
I think we have stronger individual players.
I think we're a really unique team with like high champion pool.
Whoa. Shaco is locked in.
We kind of know their playstyle, and we are really good at adapting.
If we do good prepare, we can easily win.
We want to be first place, to show that we're a really strong team and that we can compete with the best in EU.
There they are, our 2 finalists, Fnatic and the Unicorns of Love. And no matter how much you strategize, practice, or prepare, the minute you take the stage and you hear this, something goes through your veins and you gotta be ready for it.
Yeah, I can only imagine what's going through these kids' minds right now. Looking down at the thousands of people, all the people watching at home, getting ready before your most important match of most of these guys' careers. This is just amazing.
If you go out there, that is a moment you definitely want to take a picture of. I can't imagine how you can't get affected by that. Like, I'm affected by it. This is amazing here.
We all are. We also saw Daylor and Sheepy there. They're also gonna play such a pivotal role, and you know what it is. You know, would you get affected by it yourself? They're standing there. The cup is right there, and you got to make it happen.
The coach has to be the catalyst for the team. You have to keep all your emotions in check. Regardless of how wrapped up in the emotions you want to get, you must remain on that solid level. You must be the balance for your team.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it is. Fnatic versus the Unicorns of Love, 2 brand new rosters who have shown they're the best in the LCS, but now they have to prove if they're the very best, can they thrive under pressure? And we can't forget, 9 players out of 10 on that stage playing right now. It's their first LCS split. And that only gives more weight to Yellowstar in the lineup of Fnatic because he'll be able to bring so much to that team.
Absolutely, Yellowstar is a veteran. He's on spot with everything he does. He's a brilliant mind, he's a brilliant player, and he's been there since season 1. So he's the player who that Fnatic team is built around, and it just worked out all the way to the finals.
And he's like, I'm back, guys, another final for me. And now while the teams set up for game 1, let's take a closer look at the lineups for Fnatic, who will be starting on the blue side. We have Huni, Reignover, Febevin, Steelback, Yellowstar, as we said, and they are coached by Daylor. Both teams decided to choose blue for all the games, so 1, 3, and 5, blue for Fnatic, 2 and 4 if it comes to that. Blue side for the Unicorns of Love, which is a change because the Unicorns went for the red side when they could in the past in their last
Yeah, absolutely. Both went the standard way. Usually when you think of best of 5, you always choose blue side for yourself. In the current meta game, it doesn't really matter what side you pick. If you're blue side, you can secure that one OP champion in the meta to secure for your team that takes the victory. And if you're purple side, or red side, you're able to counter pick one of your solo lanes, which is also very important. It's a matter of preference.
Yeah, and Leviathan, how will that come into play here, knowing that Fnatic in their semi-final versus H2K, they took a while to adapt, and they're going to have to adapt faster in this one.
Yeah, I'm sure they took a look at their series and are going to reevaluate their drafts moving forward. I think it's really important to make sure that your first couple of picks are flexible picks that can move into different strategies and styles of play. So if the enemy is coming at you with something that is really strong at what you want to do, you can quickly make that audible and go into something else.
Yeah, and central, and that was of course Huni, whose name is being shouted here a lot, who they didn't win because of Huni, but it was crucial for them to change and go up to that Vladimir pick, and you wonder, why would they stick with the Lee Sin pick for so long?
Well, I said it last week, if you pick a Lee Sin in the top lane, smite doesn't really matter. You want to be aggressive. You want to have early game pressure. And Huni was just not able to deliver that amount of pressure for his team. He became a tank, and Lee Sin as a tank without any stats is not the greatest. So once they swept from the Lee Sin to the Vladimir, it worked out perfectly for them, and that's the way they have to go today.
Yeah, and someone else who did put a lot of pressure down, Febiven absolutely carried. I mean, also his first split. What a story for him, choosing to go with Fnatic in this new lineup, and it is paid out.
Yeah, no, he's an amazing mid lane player, very hyped up. A lot of talk around the pro community about when he was going to turn 17, what team he was going to go to, how he was going to perform, and he's really stepped up this whole split and in the playoffs, carrying his team to the finals, and we'll have to see how well he does today.
Yeah, key here is how they will do and how they will adapt. Let's take a look at the opponents for Fnatic. On the red side in game 1, we have the Unicorns of Love, Vizicachi, Kikis, Power of Evil, Vardak, Hillasan, and their coach, Sheepy. They adapted, we said it before, they adapted and picked some bans in their game versus you guys. And then they adapted in playstyle, which is maybe more impressive. They show that they are not one-dimensional and they can play someone else's game.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing how the Unicorns of Love play. I was overhearing that, they don't really pinpoint their exact strategies going into the games. They kind of just go with the flow, see what they can see in the game, and we see an opportunity here to make a move, well, let's go. They all work together in the shot calling, and it's really awesome to see. I love watching the Unicorns of Love play.
The most important and the most actually incredible thing about Unicorns, it's a bunch of friends. Those guys are 5 or 6 if you include the incredible coach Sheepy. They're 6 friends. They have no shot caller. Whoever feels comfortable makes the calls, and that is the reason for their crazy playstyle. They just, if they see an opportunity, they go for it. They will fight you wherever, whenever.
Yeah, which could be their downfall in some occasions, so we'll see how those levels of aggression play out versus each other so crucial in this matchup. We touched on Febiven. We got to touch on his counterpart, Power of Evil for the Unicorns of Love. Also incredibly hyped, we got to be honest, coming into the season, but who's gone quite a different route, not going for those all-in assassins like the LeBlanc, like the Zed, but choosing those scaling champions and playing around those.
Yeah, no, Power of Evil is the focal point of the team. When Power of Evil is ahead and when Power of Evil is performing well, they generally win their games. I saw this statistic where in wins, Power of Evil generally does 35% of the damage for the team, but in losses, he's under 20%, which is very high and very low, considering where the rest of the mid laners sit. So when Power of Evil is on, his team is on, and he's shown that he's able to both play the assassins and play those more supportive champions, late game scaling champions like Orianna.
That's what surprised me the most. Power of Evil is a known assassin player, and if you put him on that assassin and he gets ahead, he's able to put all other 4 guys on his back and carry the game home. Last in the semis, he didn't pick assassins, and when he did, he fell behind, and he was actually the reason, or one of the reasons, why they lost the Pacific game on LeBlanc. On Kog'Maw and Orianna, he had incredible performances, so I really don't know what to expect today.
I think the center point is here. We don't know what to expect, but we're going to see a lot of kills, bloody games, exciting games, and hopefully 5 of them. The teams are armed and ready on stage, so let's send it over to the casters for game 1.